Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the On Time, On Target Morning Brief. What we're going to talk about today is, first of all, is that it is the 1-year anniversary of the market low. So let's kind of that where were you on 9/11 question, where everybody kind of remembers this, but flash back a year to what you were thinking and what was going on. And this literally was this day a year ago was a pivotal moment in the market. And it's also a pivotal moment for my business. Just from this day a year ago, the Dow is up 76%. So think of the bloodletting, blood in the streets, all the emotion that was in the air. $1 million portfolio is now looking at 750K. The joke of your 401k is becoming a 201k. Well, it really became a 301k, to stay true to the math. But there was a 35% sell-off. We sidestepped some of it. But I use the roller coaster analogy. You got to get off in the first, 10% of the roller coaster, otherwise you take the ride. So we trimmed some stuff. I put out several videos. I was putting out one a day basically that said, get rid of the speculative stuff, but you're going to hold the tried and true through the downturn. And look at the snapback we've had. We bought some at the bottom with the cash we had. It was, go get, raid the couch and see what you can find. Go to your kids' rooms, find their jars of money to try to get stuff and buy stocks, because that was the kind of day it was. So SPY also up 76% from this day a year ago. So some pretty huge gains. When you really look at the book, not that you guys care, but I do. I was sitting at the end of 2020 at 20 million at the absolute low for as far as money that I manage. 20.4 million. I just looked it up a few minutes ago. That's why I started a little bit late. But 20.4 million at December 31st of 2019. At the absolute low, after selling some but taking the rest for the ride, I was at 17.4 million a year ago. I'm at 35 million today. So obviously 76% plus from the market. And then some of the new money that I picked up, new clients that obviously heard about that experience. One thing I am going to do is I'm going to go find if you remember what I called my famous, nobody really knows me in the big picture of finance, but had I been in the big picture of finance, it would have been a career changer, was my lock and load video that I put out a year ago saying it's time to buy. So I'm going to send that out to my client list, my email list of over a couple hundred people tonight, saying, hey, there was a refresher of when I said it's time to buy, and happened to be right. So, and it paid off handsomely for many of us that are on the call here today. So think about that next time the market sells off hard. It's really a time to buy. It's not time to freak out, because if you freaked out and left the market and went to cash or went to some super conservative investing portfolio, not only did you tackled those losses like a champ, right? You're like, nom, 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 all those losses that you just took, you made them permanent, and then you did not get your 76% snapback, from taking the ride. So anyhow, my 2 cents on that. The topic of the day, let's switch categories to the topic of the day, which is 5G from space. Like what? Hopefully you have 5G where you are. If you don't, hopefully it's coming soon. It's, I don't know. I've had 5G for 6 months. Obviously, it's better than non-5G. To me, it's not a game-changing technology like it was supposed to be. Maybe my iPhone 12 is too slow to handle. I don't know. It's not been this miracle. The waters did not part and 5G walked through, but it's fast, obviously. But now we're talking about satellite internet. And if you've ever had satellite internet before, it's at least when I did last time was 2009. It was horrible. A company called Blue Star. No shame against Blue Star. Maybe they fixed all their stuff, and it was terrible. I lived in a remote place and outside of Mississippi State in the country, and it was terrible. Got rid of that and went with something else for sure. But now, like when you ride on airplanes, you have GoGo, right? For most planes use the GoGo. That's actually a ground-based tech. I did not know that until I looked that up this morning, but they're actually pulling that up from towers. I was thinking they were pulling that down from space. GoGo has a whole bunch of new initiatives to put a KU band satellite network up to be able to now optimize whether you're pulling from ground or space. Another player there, though, is Elon Musk obviously this is something he's going to be in. He has Starlink, which is a venture inside of SpaceX. again, private companies, so you can't go out and buy this. But again, he has a bunch of initiatives going out there. Starlink is already live, but it's not 5G. The reason it's in the news today is because Lockheed Martin, and you would think, 5G from space, that sure sounds something like the military should do. And I agree with you. When I was over in the Middle East in 2011, 2012 timeframe, it was nothing to be able to stand up an entire network in the middle of nowhere with drones hanging, different things up and connectivity. And we actually at the morning brief, we started off talking about, where were attacks and how many of these missiles we were able to shoot down that came in, and all the different kind of kinetic things. And then as soon as we're done with the kinetic stuff, we went right into network health, network connectivity, making sure all the warfighters are on the grid, your Blue Force tracking and all that stuff that's of dire life-saving importance relies on this thing. So we spend a ton of time talking about network, but I thought it was funny because it's mostly warfighters from all the branches, and we're all like looking at the comm guy saying, all right, say that again, run that back, one more time on exactly what we're talking about here. So it's pretty cool. It shows you the importance of stuff. But Lockheed Martin, back to the headline from today, Lockheed Martin is partnering, if you will, or at least they're in the early stages of, I don't know if it's necessarily final, but there was a public announcement released that they're partnering with Omni Space, which I pulled up their website. We'll take a look after the market open at to see if they can do a 5G from space venture. And you would think this would be, some of the largest advances we've ever had came out of the military. And you would think that the military would want to kind of do this first, and maybe they're already doing it and not talking about it. I got that. We won't ever know that. And that's not me discovering or letting some massive secret or anything. I don't know, but that's how those things work. So it could already kind of exist, and now they're trying to bring it to the public through a joint venture. So we'll see. But I don't know, it's pretty exciting stuff. It'd be cool to have a space-based internet that basically covers the earth and everybody's on the grid, and that would be nice. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Longest open ever. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, welcome back, everyone. And here's our lineup card for the day. Make sure you have your chat window set up as well as your Q&A window. Standard disclaimer applies. This is a financial education presentation. Do your own due diligence, and you can read the full disclaimer at ototnow.com. All right, welcome to Tuesday, March 23rd. Again, the one-year anniversary. You're going to hear a lot about that on mainstream media, maybe not mainstream media, but certainly CNBC today, as far as people talking about, where we were a year ago, how far we've come, can we continue to go higher, that sort of thing. Also, we have Yellen and Powell, the Treasury Secretary and Federal Reserve Secretary or Chairman, respectively, are going to do a joint presentation today. I believe it's in front of Congress, but I'm not quite sure. But they're talking around noon. I don't know if that's Central or Eastern, but midday today. And whatever they say is probably going to move the markets. No matter how many times Powell says we are not raising rates until 2024, which is not anytime soon. There was I'll call him a Yahoo on the CNBC this morning squawking about it. He goes, oh yeah, Fed's going to raise rates by the end of the year. All right. I mean, I guess there's a chance he's right. And I guess that, this is a big, getting hoodwinked by the Treasury or the Federal Reserve Chairman, but I don't know. I'll go with the chairman versus that guy. All right, our tactical objectives: grow our money, grow our money, protect our money, live off our money. This again is growing our money by looking for futuristic technology and try to put our capital behind it. So 5G, yep, that's a thing. We have a couple investments out there you can see down below. Mostly, I have a lot of people in the NXTG, which is the next generation fund, which is not only excuse me 5G, but AI and some genomics and some other things that are out there trying to be a cutting edge fund. So I like that because I don't have to go in there and try to pick out best of breed. It's a good shopping list, though. If you do want to go pick out something, go pull up their top 10 holdings and and go from there. But some other names we'll take a look at. Lockheed Martin, many of you have that. I haven't bought any of that lately because it's kind of run up in the defense space. You know, Boeing's best of breed, obviously, and been paid lately for owning that. Raytheon is probably the most undervalued and can't get any love whatsoever. Many of you are in Qualcomm. That was my 5G play from like a year ago. We're still holding that. And then GoGo is a name we'll take a look at. I wouldn't recommend as an investment though. We'll also take for question of the day. I'll pull up those websites and we'll kind of look at some satellite internet stuff. All right, we'll do the longs and shorts are in the room. Looks like TDA won't let you short GOL, and that's too bad because it's a beautiful short. So we'll see if it works out there. Contingencies and academic resources are standard. All right, let's go to the futures. You see the Nasdaq's in the green, the rest are in the red. Not a whole lot moving up and down. As I was searching, you know, I only came up with 3 names for the longs and shorts. I don't really like any of them. Leaf is kind of interesting, so I'll talk about that once we get to the market open. And then GOL is a Brazilian airline, so I mean that has like short stamped all over it, right? Like, airline short Brazil, short that, right? You know, no offense to the Brazil people on that are listening, which is probably not many or zero. But you know, they have their challenges down there, not only with the government but the economy, and certainly their mainstream airline is probably not the place where it's going to get my money, you know, put behind it. All right, let's take a look at Europe. Pretty light trading. It seems like not much has moved. Down across the board in Asia, numbers from yesterday are not there. 10-year continues to sell off just a little bit, down to 1.65. Is the crisis over? Oh gosh, we were freaked out, I don't know, like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Well, I wasn't. All right, oil was 40 to 60 range. That looks good. Gold continues to kind of sell off. I don't ever really find gold attractive, but it certainly I don't have any issues with that price point. You know, it's been hanging around 2,000 forever, so I don't know what's that, 15% off from there. And then crypto. All right, Bitcoin selling off a little bit, still at 55,000. I'm not worried about it long term. I did talk to a client/friend yesterday on Chainlink technology, which is a software that rides on top of or works with or integrates or validates, I guess is probably the best term, blockchain technology, which includes all the cryptos and of course the application of that. Kind of an interesting story. I'm not sure I'm any smarter than I was yesterday, but I do think there's some future investing going on there. So you may hear that name crop up a little bit later. Okay, let's take a look at our headlines. 1-year bull market anniversary. Let's see the testimony. I saw that in here somewhere that's coming today. We'll see if we can get a time for you if you want to listen to that. AstraZeneca has been all over the news. Not even going to touch AstraZeneca stock. Here's your big headline we were talking about today: OmniSpace to build. Okay, so they haven't done it. I mean, they're partnering to do this, so that's pretty early in the stages. So we'll see what happens out of that. I literally, if I were to bet, you know, Elon Musk is going to beat the government DOD to this in a heartbeat, right? So we'll see if he chimes in on Twitter today about that. Okay, that is about it. Let's switch over to the Schwab, and we'll take a look at some of these names, and I'll show you Leaf real quick, which is, again, you can take this long. I may look at Leaf for a long-term play. Super speculative. I'm kind of in the mood for that today. And don't know why, but I read this and it's just like, oh man, this looks like it could be the next hot thing. So, all right, you're looking at Schwab now. You're looking at the 4 top pains. Disregard the bottom 2. Luckin and DraftKings, they don't go with the story here, but NXTG, you can see that has run up pretty big. You can see that it's not quite doubled from the March lows of last year, but again, all things you know, next generation. So I just love that. You are paying a little bit. I think it's 0.65 on the expense ratio, which, you know, anytime I have to pay makes me wince a little bit, but that's worth paying for. So I like it. Qualcomm has actually sold off from its highs of their of like 180 or so, but you know, nice dividend, nice steady name, and again, a leader in the 5G space. As far as Lockheed Martin, has not gotten much love. Look at that compared to, you know, we'll pull up Boeing down here below it just to show you the difference in the two charts. Well, not a huge difference, I would say. Just I thought there would be more. Lockheed Martin bounced back a lot faster than Boeing did, but it's been kind of selling off lately. So again, $350 price point, defense contracts, Democrats for the next, 2 years, the blue wave. Maybe that continues into a four-year thing. Like to look tough on defense, so I could see nice big contracts out there. So not a place to park money, not a bad place to park money. Wouldn't touch GoGo. Just I don't know that they're going to continue to be all that great of an investment standalone. But those are your considerations there for the 5G. Let's take a look at Leaf real quick. Again, up 8% pre-market. Volume's a little light here, but look at this headline. Leaf Mobile to launch an NFT kit and offer non-fungible tokens as prizes in select games. Like, all right, I see those words and I know what most of those words mean individually, and I don't really know. I don't really fully comprehend the concept of NFTs. I'm just starting to learn about that. But I will tell you, in buzzword bingo, that nails it, right? So you've got younger generation NFT tokens being offered as prizes. Like, what? That sounds like a winner. So I think I'm going to put some capital behind that. For a day trade, you can take a shot at it if you want. All right, let's take a look. Let's go over and set up for the market open. Which there's the market open right there. Welcome to the on time on target play of the day. You have 4 screens in front of you. You have the SPY, which is kind of trending higher here, even though it's overall in the red. And you have 3 plays listed. On the left side, you've got CTMX, which is Cytomix. That is on an upgrade. So it was up 5% earlier. It's kind of sold off from that. So let's zoom in a little bit there. And then you've got Leaf, which I was just talking about. I wanted to show you the longer term. This has been bouncing around from a low of 670 up to 840. So let's zoom in here to the 1 day and kind of see how it's doing off this announcement. I do like this long. The low of the day is down here at 793. I do want a 10-cent stop. So in the bigger picture, if this sells off some, I'm pretty happy with that. Otherwise, if it comes back north to 8, I'm comfortable moving in at 8 with a 10-cent stop and an 830 exit. So we're going to keep an eye on that. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. On that, little lower volume. So don't, if there's only 20,000 shares on the day, so don't buy 20,000 yourself, right? You're going to move the market. I know somebody in the room sat there and done that with me in person. And that can be fun to move the market. But again, that's not probably the best idea. And again, the short out there is GOL. I really like this short. Again, a Brazilian airline selling off. TD Ameritrade, you can't short it. I don't have anybody on Schwab chiming in on whether you can short it or not. But let's look at that Leaf long. And again, it's at 799. I'm looking at 8 going higher for the entry. May look at this GOL. Again, pretty low volume, a little more than Leaf, but we'll keep an eye on that as well. All right, CTMX is selling off, so let's pull up another couple names. Let's see if Lockheed Martin's getting any love from that announcement today. Nope, pretty flat. The other one's Omni is a private company, so nothing to look at there. DraftKings got a big upgrade today. We'll see what's going on with that. So that's moving higher. Nice move up there in minute 2. All right, Leaf set a new low of the day down here at 780. So that changes the math. Don't necessarily like it as much now. I should be taking it here at 790 long. I'm not comfortable enough taking that. Volume's down at 3,000 for 2 minutes in a row. So there's not quite enough volume to get in there and stab at that. So let's bail on Leaf. GOL. Yeah, it's a 10-cent stop. High of the day is 730. I like that. That would give us a 720 entry. Zoom in here a little bit. To the downside. That would be below the low of the day. So if this hits 720 going south, we can take this short. I'm not sure it's going to have the volume to. So, all right, let's surf around. All right, go DraftKings, go, right? It's up to raging higher now. Let's look at Luck and Coffee. It's been up 25% the past 2 days. Is it selling off or is it going higher? I think it's going higher. Barely going higher. All right, 9 cents higher. I'll take it to, ooh, it went up all the way to 11.62 and then sold off from there. If you're super aggressive, you could trade, wait for it to bottom, set the low of the day, and then go back long on luck. And I think that's a very comfortable long story there. All right, GOL's not setting up, so we're going to bail on that. Looks like we're not going to get a trade today. Let's see what else. Raven was going south on earnings, but the volume here is a problem. Same thing, looking at 10,000 shares a minute. So not really enough volume off of a busted earnings story there for Raven. And DSP, which I don't know what DSP is, but it also busted earnings, as you can see, and is selling down 11%. Next to no volume. So you really can't hop in there and short it to any extent. All right, let's look at the VIX. No, a couple of us are in that. So VXX basically flat, hanging out at 12. Gosh, zoom out here. It got down to what, 1190? Did it get below that? 1185 is your low yesterday. Kind of crazy. I'm not sure I've seen it that low. With everybody squawking and all the drama in the air, it's pretty shocking that there's not volatility out there. But it's good about volatility. It's like, rain, it's like thunderstorms. They're going to show up again. So I'm not too worried, but you got to be patient in your trade. If you don't have a tremendous amount, you can even load up or start a position here if you want to play some volatility. Not really falls in line with my primary long-term investing thesis, but I do think you can make some money here. Okay, let's take a look at the names that are moving out there. TQLB, I don't remember what that is. Let me Google that real quick. It's a speculation stock. Torque Lifestyle Brands. And there you have it. Out of Colorado, emerging leader in the active what? Company outlook? No. Data profile. There it is. Emerging leader in supplements for the sports industry. Oh yeah, I know what this is now. Yeah, penny stock at your own risk, right? Completely at your own risk. But TQLB is up nicely. All right. TQLB, got to fire off a text to the investor that I have in this, just in case they haven't looked. Okay, I'm back. All right, what else is up? We got Zoom is back up. I wouldn't touch Zoom here with the economy opening. If anything, it's a short. I'm not sure I'd short a name as strong as Zoom, but you can bail on that. Let's see. GoDaddy's up nicely. GoDaddy's been kind of beaten up lately. It got over 90 and it dropped down to 76. Now let's back out this chart to maybe a 20-day. I said over 90, that's 85, but I'm pretty sure it was over 90. Yep, there it is. So you have to go back a month and a half. It touched 94.99. I've said repeatedly, this is not a $90 stock, and it certainly didn't hold that. I used to say it's not an $80 stock. I've had to move that higher, but not a bad entry point on GoDaddy if you're interested in that thesis. All right, DraftKings up, not quite as much as it was. Let's see what's down on the red side. Clickstream, Empower is off a little bit. Fubo, KWeb, I love it. It's in the red column every day. So do I love it more? Yes, I do. It'll have its day in the sun. It shall rise again. Bitcoin selling off a little bit. Other than that, not a huge move to the downside. As far as the markets overall, holding pretty even. NASDAQ barely in the green. The other two are barely in the red. All right, let's switch over back to the CNBC, and we will close with, back over to Chrome. Close with taking a look at some things. 5G, if you go to Wikipedia, I was going to try to offer something here, but it's too techy really to give you any information other than, let's see, speed, right? That's what we care about. Speed range for 5G is pretty phenomenal. When you think of the pace of technology, so, I may have mentioned earlier, Predators here in the room with me physically this morning. We were talking about yesterday on what the future is going to look like, and we laughed about everything from Wall-E. Remember the overweight individuals in a chair drinking soda and everything. The ship leans to the left and everybody floats to the left. Kind of funny about, is that the future where everything is done for us, or is it like Ready Player One? If you saw that movie where people kind of leave reality, and reality sucks so bad that the the people kind of go back into their own little virtual worlds where they have a much more satisfying life. And, when you hear that, you're like, okay, now I'm thinking, millennials in the basement. And is that happening already, right? Where they're, 4-star general and on their, on their, games or whatever. And, they're, the jeans and t-shirt wearing kid to the high school, right? Where they're kind of nobody. So anyhow, we'll see. Or, how accurate is the matrix? We also got into a philosophical discussion about that. So anyhow, kind of an interesting thing, but a lot of investing is trying to predict what the future is and then putting capital behind that before all that comes true, because then you get paid handsomely for doing it. So that's my job. If you do it on your own, those are what I would advise out there. So 5G, and what 6G, whatever that is even going to be, it's coming, right? It's like the iPhone 13. Oh, it's coming. Or Samsung got the leap on them, right? We're at Samsung 21s, the Galaxy 21. It's like, okay, good for you. You amped up the numbers. All right, Starlink. So SpaceX has put these satellites up there already. Again, not 5G, but I'm sure that Elon Musk I think he'll be first to get there. But if you want to learn more about Starlink, you can already subscribe now. If you want it, again, high-speed satellite-based internet. Where would that be applicable? If you are needing a work, if you live out in the middle of nowhere, you're already on a satellite internet. If not, if you work out in the middle of nowhere, that's not a bad, mobile solution, if you will, if you are out there. And we also have Lockheed Martin. Here was the announcement today with OmniSpace to support the space-based 5G global network. We'll see how long this takes for them to do it. But then again, you'd have to think the military is on the cutting edge of this already, and it's been talked about for years. So maybe that is just bringing out of the black world into the white world. So if this happens in under a year, that means it already, already existed. And now they're just kind of doing a PR move to get it out there into the public. So, all right, that's all I have for today. Thanks for listening in. 1 year from the market low. Again, as a reminder, some people get excited when markets sell off like 5% or so. The averages are up 76% for both the Dow and the SPY from 1 year ago today. Okay. Don't sell out at the bottom, kids. I know you guys are smarter than that, but tell your friends that aren't. Okay. With that, we'll talk to you next time. Bye.